Welcome to the IME Community Podcast, where self-love is your superpower to achieve your weight and life goals and make your mark in the world. Your host is Dr. Carla, activist, MD. If you're a teen who's looking to revolutionize your health and can't wait to follow your dreams, welcome to the IME Community.
This is Dr. Carla with an IME Community Radio Blast. Parents, don't be stupid. Gotta have my cool glasses on. Okay, just drove my daughter. She's 18, Audrey. She's hilarious and wonderful and brilliant and all the things. To school. She has a car. She has money. She works. And she did not fill her car up with gas. So she thought she would run out of gas to school. So she, at the last minute, said, "Mom, could you take me to school? Because I will run out of gas. I didn't get any gas in my car." Okay, fine. My old self, my old mom, would have used that opportunity or just been reactive, and I would have said, "Why didn't you get gas? You have money. Why, Audrey, blah, 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 blah." I don't even know all the things. I try to forget it. But I've done so much work and worked with my coach, and also just intentionally to create a softer approach. So and I took her to school. I didn't say a word. We did talk a little bit on the way to school and listened to Sirius XM radio, which the song by Shania Twain came on, "Don't Be Stupid." And I thought, hey, this is opportunity for me not to be stupid and to show myself self-compassion and to show Audrey self-compassion or compassion, and show her the example of self-compassion, because she knows that there have been times when maybe my husband and I, we ran out of gas while we were taking our kids and two of my daughter's friends on spring break a couple years ago to Steamboat Springs, and literally we ran out of gas, and it was cold winter, and it just was crazy. We were able to get off and coast down the exit ramp in Sidney, Nebraska, and coast into about, I don't know how many, 50 feet maybe, from a gas station. I'm not good at distances. From a gas station. It was just unbelievable. Then my husband had been arguing about, I was like, "Let's stop and get gas here." And he's like, "No, we can make it like Kramer on Seinfeld." And it was hilarious because of course we didn't have a gas can in our car. So we went to the gas station and he got a gas can and some gas. And then I waited with the kids and I took a picture of him, and it was just like Clark Griswold from Vacation, who is definitely my husband's Clark Griswold from Vacation. It's hilarious. So I'm like, he's a genius with food additives, if you know that scene, and I hope you'll watch that movie. And I can't believe the teens who haven't been exposed to that movie. And parents, you're not doing your job as a parent if you haven't exposed your teens to that movie. Okay, I'm wearing my Alaska sweatshirt that I got from my mom. My mom, this is her beautiful picture, because I was thinking of her and how she kind of was with my sisters and I, and that's how I was with my daughter Audrey today, where you're just kind of a little bit more softer approach, like a soft place to land, and that's what I want to be more of. So, and that's what I was today, and I was proud of myself. I want to share that with all of you. So anyway, back to the gas can. So he's coming back with the gas, and we're laughing and stuff. So then he couldn't figure out how to get the gas can in our gas tank in our van. I don't know what the problem was. But anyway, he spilled some gas on himself, which sucked because then we can smell gas in the van. Anyway, this is how life goes. So, my daughter, she knows. She is a product of two imperfect people, And she's also seen and experienced a lot of that stuff. So, and the other thing I want to tell you all is like, if you have experienced teens who drive and fill up their car with gas, or you haven't experienced that and you really have no clue what it's going to be like to teach your teen how to drive, I can tell you it's like a challenging thing. It was probably one of the most challenging things I've learned as a parent. And I mean, my older daughter's a really good driver. My middle daughter is a good driver. She's a careful driver. But it's really hard. I thought that would be easy thing, but it's not. Anyway, cool sweatshirt again. This was my mom's favorite trip she had to Alaska. Okay, so here's the reality. A lot of times teens don't know how, and there's a lot of anxiety to fill up their car with gas. So we realized that with my oldest daughter. She was like, I don't know how. And then it's like how to get my card to work, or she didn't have a debit card. We didn't give her a credit card. And then she was like, I don't know how I would like go in and pay cash and then like make sure that I'm only, if I prepay, that if I pay $20 that I get $20 worth of gas. And so I was like, wait, of course, like these are not things that you're born knowing. And us Gen X parents who are these like hyper competitive, people pleasing, achievement oriented parents, we didn't grow up with the social media. We didn't have phones that we're looking into. So what else did we do other than, oftentimes we pumped the gas, or we thought that was actually kind of a fun thing, or we had service where someone would pump the gas for you. So you watched their every move since we were little. Well, teens nowadays, they didn't grow up like that. So they weren't paying attention. They're on screens, which it's just the reality. It's, we can't make an assessment of it. Anyway, so we had a non-judgmental ride, and I heard that song Don't Be Stupid by Shania Twain, who I'm a big fan of hers. She's so awesome, so cool. And I thought, it's not me trying to tell Audrey don't be stupid and not fill up your car with gas. It's me, don't be stupid and don't get harsh and rigid. And so anyway, I did a quick TikTok video on it, because afterwards I went and got some coffee, and it was still dark outside, and I was like, it's dark outside because I just dropped my daughter off at school, and she has a car, she has money, she has a job, she just didn't get gas all weekend. It's okay. It's not a big deal. I just took her to school. And so people are kind of viewing the video. It's not going to be a viral video at all for me, but it's going to be one that I think is going to be helpful. And because we're so judging and shaming and perfectionist and think that everything means something, and that if we, cater to our kids and spoil them and take them to school instead of like teaching her a consequence. So one mom said, no, please don't do this. You will teach her consequences. Otherwise, you're going to end up being like me and have a 30-year-old who I'm constantly rescuing. And I was like, that's a good point. I responded, that's a good point. But showing she is, and then I got a little bit into like defense mode, because as parents we're gonna do that because I have an amazing kid, I'm like, oh, she's super responsible. It's just having a compassionate approach to these small things, that way you're when you teach your teen self-compassion, and you have compassion, like I had compassion for all the parts of me, like I'm able to recognize and then pause. Like I recognize I had a trigger, like it's like an urge or an itch that I had to scratch, and it was like, that's okay to have, Carla, it's like, it's okay to have all the parts of me. The one that like is like frustrated with her that she didn't get gas and she had time all weekend. The part of me that has that tendency to like approach it like, why didn't you get gas? And that's kind of like a shaming or judgment. And I recognize that that's all just judging and shaming myself and my tendency. I also have this tendency, which I had compassion for, to fix and solve and think that and make a little thing like that mean something. It's like, no, just frickin' take your kid to school. It's okay. There's going to be many other times. I'm not making it mean anything about her or about me as a parent. Literally, it is a small thing. Okay? Now, what if it happens every day? What if I'm constantly getting her gas? What if that's when you set a boundary? That's when I will absolutely be addressing it. But punishing, really, like, you have to know your kid, and parents, we know our kids. So it may feel good to us to like set a consequence and think that we, cause and control and can fix and solve all these things, and think we're coming from a good intentional place and that we're being a good parent. Society teaches us that. But I'm just going to tell you, like, just being compassionate with yourself and recognizing when you're triggered, and instead of being in reactive mode and going to compassion mode with yourself and with your teen over the small things, is going to get you so much farther. And it's going to help you. Like, it's going to help us make sure that she doesn't run out of gas the next time. Because when she knows that her parents have her back, and the reality is, like, if she's afraid to say, like, I actually don't remember how to pump gas, I don't remember what side of the car the tank is on, I'm worried about, like, using my debit card, I can't remember my PIN number, I'm scared to go to this gas station because there's creepy people there sometimes. I mean, these are all real things. And so I want to know all those things, and I want to help her. And that's having a compassionate approach and a more, we want to respond with compassion. And also, I didn't say anything. Like, I didn't make it a lesson like, we all run out of gas. It just wasn't the time, okay? She's going to school. She's doing her thing. It's still dark outside. And not everything has to be a life lesson. Anyway, my mom's name was Barb. She died over 2 years ago, and I miss her so much. She's gorgeous. This is a picture from her Alaska trip, which was her favorite trip, with her friend Melvin. And she was a single mom, and people would think, oh, she was this amazing mom. She was in a lot of ways, and then in other ways she wasn't. And my sisters and I, and my mom, first person to tell you that. Like, she struggled with really severe depression, and after my parents got divorced, it obviously got really worse. And my sisters and I were really little, and I'm the middle of 3 girls, and it was a tough life for us. And there were a lot of there was a lot of trauma, but my mom had a very she was always a soft place to land. And one of the things that I always say about her, a joke I said, I think, I don't know if I said this at her funeral, because I did her eulogy, and because I really wanted everyone to know, like, that what it was like to be raised by Barb, and the good things about her, and the good things she taught us about being a loving and warm neighbor. And my sisters and I are really, and this made me tear up, but we were who, like, she loved in the world, and it was obvious. And she really loved her grandchildren, and she was really proud of all of us. But I mean, for her life, my sisters and I were kind of it, my 2 sisters and I. And she was such an amazing person in our lives. I mean, literally, like, she just had your back. So I want to encourage all of us to be a soft place to land, to be loving, to be take a self-compassionate approach, to just create a pause, to not fix and solve. And I guarantee you I'll be hearing about this later. Because when I say, oh, Audrey, like when I say I'm not making a big deal out of this situation with Audrey, she'll say, Mom, you created an entire YouTube video over it, a podcast, and TikTok videos, and an Instagram post. You made a huge freaking deal out of it. And you're patting yourself on the back. She'll call it virtue signaling probably. Anyway, I'll hear about that later. I'll share it with you. Who knows? Maybe not. Anyway, I got to help her get gas later. Figure it out. All right. Thanks for joining. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the IME Community Podcast, where self-love is your superpower. The content of this podcast represents the opinions of Dr. Carla Lester and is not intended as, and shall not be understood as, a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. The opinions shared reflect the host and guest and do not represent an organization or medical group. Always seek the advice of your physician or therapist if you have concerns about your health. And please, like and subscribe to the IME Community Podcast. Share IME with your friends and go to imecommunity.com to join the member community. Don't forget to follow IME on social.